So, you said you tried networking, but it just didn't work, right? You go for events, you meet people, and then it just doesn't work. So, because I would have loved to make it in time, but I'll just. So, the number one thing is that when you're going for that event, what was your motive? Was it just because I want to go there, collect people's card, call them so that they can help me? Or did you have the mind to say, okay, it could go either way. I could be the one helping them, it could also be the one helping you. Because sometimes when you have too much expectation and it's one sided, you are easily disappointed when you're not getting that like immediately. So that's probably number one. Number two, one thing I do when I have networking event is to reach out to the person within 24 hours because of attention span. So I meet you here, I get your card, I save your number. The next thing is I'm sending you a message. I don't call. It might be too soon. Is that I'm sending you an SMS, but I prefer to do WhatsApp. You know what WhatsApp does? The person sees my message on WhatsApp. If they use WhatsApp, they save my number. The next minute we start seeing each other's status, and so that bonding is enhanced. So I tried to send a message to the person of this member to say it was a pleasure meeting. Someone like it said it was a pleasure meeting you at that event. And I really believe that we could do a lot of things together. Thank you for being so amazing or you are so inspiring. Just something to let the other person know that you pay attention and you're interested in the furthering relationship with them. So I do that. Ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table? Networking is not a one party thing. What are you bringing to the table? And don't be in a haste, please. People connect with you on LinkedIn, and the next minute they are sending you a 3-page sales pitch. It doesn't work like that. Even whether it's virtual or physical, don't rush the person and don't let them see through that the only reason why you spoke to them at that event or virtually was just because you wanted to sell to them or get something from them. Nurture it, let it grow naturally, and they can see that we are mutually connected and we want to benefit from each other. So, yeah, that's probably like all I want to say. Also, like learn to deposit into people's emotional bank account. Let them feel like they owe you something. So the person you are trying to get something from, you find out that they might need a service. You could actually even say, okay, I could volunteer for you in this particular area. And it's not going to take you too much. The person feels like you are bringing value to the table. By the time you have done that, you have made a deposit into the emotional bank account. So by the time you want to make a withdrawal, your check will not bounce. By the time you're asking them for that thing, they remember that you've been helpful to them, you are within their circle, and so it's easier for them to also to want to give you what you're asking for.
Okay, so we have 2 minutes more. You need to ask, please, you still need to tell us what can we do to stand out without spending money?
Okay.
That's a question.
So what can we do to stand out without spending money? We need to look at what are the existing platforms that you can leverage. For instance, instead of building something entirely new in terms of tech, you know that people make millions of naira on WhatsApp. There's what we call WhatsApp automation. So look at existing technology that looks like ordinary, looks like commonplace, low tech, and see what you can do. How can you maximize? So the question is that tool that looks ordinary, that is not costly, that people are using, how can I maximize? What value can I get? When people tell you the value they get out of Telegram and WhatsApp, you'll be so amazed. Because you don't have that budget, look for what is an existing platform and what are the values I can suck out from them, maximize it, then talk to people, leverage connection too. There's a way you can connect with people, and instead of you having to rent an office, they say, I have a space that you can use. That saves you the cost of rent, right? So leverage on relationship. Leverage relationship that can help you to reduce your cost. Look for platforms that are existing and see how you can maximize them. And of course, if you need a financial advisor, please get one. Sometimes you think hiring talking to a financial advisor could be costly for you, but it might become costly because what you are spending on are things that you should not spend on. So it's very important that you want to maximize, you want to leverage relationship, and you want to talk to somebody who can tell you how to maximize your cost. How to reduce your cost and maximize the benefit that you can get from all the resources that you have already.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. I think, audience, I want to thank you for your patience, for your time. even for taking time to be quiet, to listen, and give us answers that was like sort of bothering you. A round of applause for yourself, really. Thank you very much for this session. I want to say thank you on behalf of Home Business School to both of our panelists. It was a great session, and we do not take your time for granted. Thank you very much. On behalf of our country director, I want to say that we hope that when we call you in, you'll be available. Thank you, sir. A round of applause for them, please. So at this point, I'm going to be handing over to, sorry, at this point, I'm going to be handing over to Sam.
Please, a round of applause for our panelists. Please, let's do that. Let's make that louder. I know we have all gained from the panel discussion, and the key focus has been on connection and collaboration. So we'll be going into the pitch session and the startup presentation. One important thing that we say is the need for us to collaborate and the need for us to connect and network. And the power of cooperation, like we have it in the business world, where some of us have businesses that are registered as limited liability companies, and we know businesses that are limited, and we also know that the private limited liability companies, and we also know the public limited liability company. Those are the platforms that helped the ordinary individuals to be able to create wealth beyond the elite and beyond the aristocrats. So before now, wealth resided basically in the hands of the royal families. But a group of peasants, a group of ordinary people came together and they asked themselves, how can we create wealth beyond the wealth that already exists within the monarch? And they came up with corporation. So the word corporation, which you have as either limited liability company or that's private limited liability company or public limited liability company, is the coming together of people to harness their capacity, their capabilities, just like the panelists has made us to understand, their diverse strengths to be able to create value for people and at the same time take value. So it is important that in your entrepreneurial journey that you don't do it alone. Just like Mr. Hakim mentioned, that what is happening in the startup space is basically driven by collaboration between co-founders. So you can't step out of this place and still do business the way it is being done. So I wanted to put a round of applause again for our panelists because they really delivered value to us this afternoon. And that is the most we can do for them. So at this point, we'll be inviting the judges and also recognizing the judges for the pitch session. So this pitch session, we have startups that will be pitching their businesses, giving us an insight on what their value proposition is about. And we have 7 of those startups. This also gives you an opportunity, if you are an investor beyond the judges, to also see value where you can plug in and be able to create value for yourself. You will agree with me that there are so many entrepreneurs who have never started a business. I see them as people who they don't give birth and they don't bury in business. They've never started a business, they don't start businesses, and they don't bury businesses. So what they do is that they invest in businesses that have already been started, and before the business died, they have japa. So this afternoon, I have the privilege of welcoming Mr. Suleiman, who is an associate with Apex Commodities. Mr. Suleiman, you're welcome. A round of applause for Mr. Suleiman. I also have Mr. Idong Essen, who is also a program advisor in Rome Business School for the Master in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. Mr. an alumni of Rome Business School, which is very important. I also have Mr. Shibike Iwanyanwo, who is also here with us. Please a round of applause for him. And also one of our panelists will also be part of the judges. That's Mr. Tokpe. We already know him. So the panel, the judges will take note of the pitch by each of the companies, and we're just having one company representative to deliver the pitch. I have a stop clock with me, so the pitch is for 5 minutes. You think that's too small?
No.
It's even much, so you should be able to do elevation pitch. So it's more or less like the maximum time you can get to make your pitch. And so you have 5 minutes for your pitch to really show us what your business is all about and be able to convince the judges that you are the right person for an investment in Rome Business School, Nigeria Business Fair this year. And so after that, after your 5 minutes presentation, the judges, all the judges, they have 5 minutes for their comments. So if there's going to be any question from the judges, from any of the judges, so it's going to be for 5 minutes, all the judges for each of the presentation. So we'll start with Remen Electric. Are they here? And then we also have Sophia Foods. Please, are the representative of these companies? You said? Sorry, Regimen Electrics. Right? Okay, sorry about that. And then we have AgriMill Nigerian Enterprise. AgriMill. We have representatives of AgriMill here. We have, or I didn't pronounce it well. We also have Sophie Foods. Do we have the representative here? Okay, thank you. We also have Semonton Floor, right? Okay. So I have identified 3. We also have Med with Cred. Med with Cred. Okay. Thank you. We have John Welling Agric and Farms. Okay. So I would like to call the representative of the first company for their presentation, and then the panelists will have 5 minutes for questions, and then we call the second company. Thank you. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joshua. I'm the representative for Regimen Energy. Okay, so beside my window in my house is where all the generators in my compound are. And what that means is when people put on their generators at 2 a.m. because the baby is hot, you know who suffers the repercussion for that. And why is that? What's that? Because Nigeria has a power deficit of at least 22,000 megawatts. Just for context, Nigeria requires at least 33,000 megawatts of electricity. Currently, we have 13,000 megawatts installed capacity, but the grid can only effectively carry 6,000 megawatts. But generally, it is rare for us to have more than 4,000 megawatts any year. And Lagos, that needs between 15,000 megawatts to 100,000 megawatts, gets only 1,000 megawatts for 12 hours in a day. So you can imagine the huge disparity between the need, energy need, than what the supply currently is. So, in our quest to see what the opportunities are, we spoke to Mr. Tunde, who has a factory that requires 80 kilowatts of energy, and Mr. Tunde was more than willing for us to supply him energy, and he was going to pay us for it. The same thing for an estate. I don't want to call the full name. We approached them. They were willing. They also said, we've suffered a lot with electricity and diesel. You can come in. We spoke to Shegun, who runs a complex, bought diesel for 600 naira. You know, he went from 300. He wanted to replace it. They told him 600. He wanted to replace, and the thing had gone to 800. More than willing to buy this energy that we were going to produce as well. Okay, so what is the way forward? We are because our grid typically can only carry 6,000 megawatts of electricity. Building more power stations and feeding them to the grid is a waste, because already the grid experiences about 20% losses, and this is because of aged infrastructure and dilapidated transformers and so on and so forth. So the solution is to generate energy in the places where the demand is. So what are we suggesting? What are we proposing? We use waste. I gave an example of Fjällbona plant in Sweden that generates 18 megawatts of electricity with 160,000 tons of waste. Lagos produces about 12,000 to 13,000 tons of waste every day. So in 12 days, we would have generated all the electricity, all the tonnage of waste that plant needs for a whole year. So you can imagine how much potential there is in the waste that's in Lagos State, for example. And then you have micro and mini hydropower that you can put in places where there's flowing water, and then you do not need to transmit at long distances. So you eliminate the losses in the grid, you eliminate the cost of transmission, and then you have biogas, which is also part of the waste, from organic waste that you can use to produce electricity as well. And that is what we're proposing. What are the benefits of this? You have little investment in storage capacity, storage, like when you use gas, you need to store them in specialized containers. I'm happy that the CEO of Petrocam is here. I think almost all their stations are run on solar. That's correct. They don't have generators, so she can validate this model. Okay, you have the social benefits like reduction in greenhouse gases, economic growth and industrialization, and of course the reduction in the pollution in the environment. Okay, so our sales model is simple. We have three categories of people: the bulk buyers like estates and distribution companies, business to business, which is organizations that use heavy duty generators, and then the retail people, which is those that just buy for usage in their houses. And we're going to be selling to them and metering them per kilowatt hour. Okay, so from a 2.5 megawatt installed capacity, this is the income that you expect to get, 1.7 billion naira per annum, with at 65% capacity. That is what I calculated, that's not 100%. So if we have 2.5 megawatts installed, we'll be supplying 14 million kilowatt hours of electricity. At 125 naira, you will get 1.7 billion per annum at 65% calculation. Currently, if you are using a diesel generator, you are spending about 320 naira per kilowatt hour. If you are using a small like Pass My Neighbor, you are spending 402 naira per kilowatt hour. So, time up. Anyway, I think this is the most important slide. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to imagine which audience are you reaching to. So what's your app?
Okay. So that we can just...
Yes, I also have that question. What do you need? That's number one. Number two, good presentation, but from an agri point of view, I don't know what you do. Let me tell you why I said that. Are you generating power in my business place, or are you generating power and distributing? there is a Nigerian regulation about power generation. Are you going to generate in place or are you going to transmit? That's also not clear. What's your history? What have you done? And also the event. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I would just piggyback on the question he has because you didn't demonstrate what you are doing exactly. So you showed the alternative sources of power, but what's your own value proposition wasn't properly demonstrated. Are you a solar energy company? Are you a biogas energy company? You didn't really generate that. Another thing you didn't touch upon, which is still piggybacking on what they said, was the challenges that you envision you face. Because it's easy to come on board and say, I have this idea, I have this idea. But what are some of the challenges and what are the things that you set in place to combat these challenges? What are the regulatory and what is the regulatory landscape like? What's the financing landscape like? So things like that you didn't demonstrate that.
Okay, thank you very much. The first question was, what is the ask? What we're looking for is $5 million to generate 2.5 megawatts of electricity. And in the first slide, the 10th slide or thereabout, that is where our value proposition was. That we have mini grids that are generated where the customers are, where the demand is, which is why I made mention of eliminating transmission costs and not selling them back into the grid so that we don't experience losses and we cut off the transmission costs. So we generate where the customer is by the use of solar, waste, solar, and microgrids. So I think, have I answered that your question? Okay, so we are a power generation company, okay, and what we are into is to get mini grids. So this is a startup. Okay.
Can you do a comparison between what you want to do and gas? It's easier right now, but I don't want to do POC to do gas. And there's a company that right now that can pipe gas to any company anywhere on the face of Nigeria. Now you are bringing, because when I got to waste, I was like, do you want to do generating power from waste on my site? That was what, so I didn't know you do solar. I saw solar, but I wasn't sure because you mentioned it. So my point is this, now, you have waste, you have solar, beautiful, but I can 100% tell you that these are, but maybe I'm wrong, I'm an agriculturist. Maybe this might be more expensive than gas. So what is unique selling proposition? Why should I buy into this and not go with gas and PSC?
Okay, so to answer your question, I made mention of specialized storage. You don't need specialized storage for solar, for example, and there's minimum maintenance. The risk of explosions, almost zero. You are not susceptible to supply shocks. If I'm using solar, for example, I do maintenance once a year. So, and that's usually in Harmattan when there's dust. So you just wash up the solar panels. But once you have them installed there's minimal maintenance. The only thing you have to do is your batteries. If you get good batteries, once in 3 years, once in 5 years. So there's minimal maintenance. There's a 25-year lifespan. And as well, and in addition to that, you find out that if we're doing waste, one of the idea behind the waste, because solar is cheaper for us, but if we do waste, it is the advantage or the benefits to the environment. If you ask me, if I was alone in the team, I'd probably say let's just do solar, because once I install, I'm making money, I don't have to do much maintenance. So I generate where you are and sell it to you. But in terms of gas, you are susceptible to changes in prices of gas. We can change at any time. You are susceptible to supply shocks. And while I did not do a comparison with gas generation, I did with diesel and petrol. Because the people that are doing gas are already big boys. But the estate that is using diesel is the one that feels the pain. So from generating at 420 per kilowatt hour, I'm giving it to you at 120. So already immediately you can see a 75% reduction in your cost. So everybody is not our customer. The people that can afford their gas are not our customers, but the factory guy that just needs 100 kilowatt hours of electricity and is spending 400 per kilowatt hour for diesel is our target. So, sorry, in the course of it,
Yeah, so I think it's the challenges that the mission will face, because the
Okay.
nation
Okay, fine. So, in terms of regulation, we have already engaged a lawyer, and so everything that we require to run successfully will be taken care of. But last year there was a bill that was released, that was passed, which we've already asked the lawyer look into it and tell us the things that we need to take care of in setting up these grids. Okay, so in terms of the regulation, we are working with lawyers actually. And then you don't know what we are doing. This is a startup. This is something that we went to do. And that is why at the beginning I mentioned the people that we have approached already to test whether there's a market for what we want to do. Those people are actually physical human beings I can take you to, who are willing to buy this power if we are able to generate it for them.
So what's the one sentence speech of what you
Solar, mini grids, sustainable electricity generation and sales.
may need to refine that in the subsequent.
Thank you. I'll talk to you about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your presentation and also the contribution from the judges. We'll take the second startup. Semotone floor. We'll take Semotone floor. Your time starts the way the see, your time starts now. It's coming up.
Good afternoon all. It's a privilege to be here. I'm one of the students of Rome Business School. I'm presently studying my master in entrepreneurship and innovation management. And at the same time, I'm a civil servant. I have a privilege to work in one of the best places in this country. But one thing I know is that whether you like it or not, as a salary earner, one day you must leave. And when you leave the service, then you start thinking what to do. That's a societal mission. So here we are Semotone floor mill. We are approved by NAFDAC. Our Semotone, the next slide. Okay, we have introduction, general background. Okay, why Semotone products? We know that stable foods, according to the World Bank in 2005, about 17.4 billion naira were used as foreign exchange coming from developing countries. And with over 14 million hectares of land in Nigeria, we discovered that a lot of land is uncultivated. So, the next slide. Okay, our mission to make Nigeria agricultural product popular and attractive to people by ensuring maximum return on investment and enhance sustainable life begin. Our mission is to establish and manage a creative, sustainable business that will ease wealth and generation of investment, nation building through employment creation. Then our corporate objective is to create the size of industry through income for annual sales, to establish sustainable markets, adding additional, to reduce agricultural product waste by buying in bulk from the local farmers. Next slide. Here is our team. Ms. Falami Uluwatomilola is a BSc Chemistry, is the Managing Director. We have Ms. Miracle Chibuzo, is a BSc Economics Agri, is the Marketing and Other Manager. We have Mr. Adole, is a MSc Food Science, is a Production Manager. And myself, I'm a BSc Economics and Credits Analyst, Research and Development Specialist. We have our accountant, Mr. Falana Amos Olayemi, is a certified accountant. The next slide. Here is our product. Let's start on this other side. We have Senator flour mix. It's a special meal that 2 kg of our flour meal can feed 16 people comfortably. Then we have our yellow pap flour. Our yellow pap flour is made up of corn, carrots, unripe plantain, soya beans, and ginger. Then the same thing goes to guinea corn. Pap is mixed up with guinea corn, millet, unripe plantain, carrots, ginger, and soya beans. The next slide. Okay, our capital structure is 1 million authorized capital, ordinary share of 1 naira. Then source of our finance. Presently now, source of finance is loan and equity, and the loan is grouped under family, friends, and individual. But because it's a business, it's an entity, that's why we group it as loan. The next line. Yes, what are the risks? There's a lot of risk involved in this. Flood during the rainy season. Then we have breakdown of machine. Then we have theft by employee, bad debt from distributors. Then how do we mitigate these threats? By buying in bulk during proper harvest, then frequent maintenance and overhauling of our machine, then employing a credible employee, then cash sale on discount. That's about the bad debt from the distributor. Economic and social justification. In the short run, we have 12 staff presently. We create wealth for entrepreneurs, make public, promote public and human relations in society through marketing, promote community development through training of the youth for entrepreneurship skill, import substitute. Then we reduce the reduction of dependence on foreign food. Then these are our SWOT analysis, our strength, and you see the products are all seen, all type of food, that's pap and semo, are massively demand across the country. And we sent some sample to US and to UK for them to see how it looked like, and it was acceptable. The next.
Thank you.
Survived your pitch. I think we are thankful that we survived your pitch session. You know what that means? It was boring. Yes. It was boring.
They might.
Okay. Sorry. I said that we are thankful for this moment. We have survived your entire pitch session, and the feedback was that it was boring. So, how do you make it better some of the time? It's something you take apart. But I have one comment and a question. You may have to strengthen your speech with the health benefits. Since you're telling you talk about supplying carrots or pushing carrots or why does that matter to me? Right. And then the question is, what feedback do you ever got from consumer or customer?
Okay, thank you for the pitch. Thank you for the boldness. Based on what we saw, I will only ask two questions. Number one, I see a branding issue. Most of us know Semovita in the market. If you place your brand against Semovita, there will be confusion. Maybe I don't buy Semovita, but I have a funny feeling I look closely like Semovita in the market. So that always creates a problem for a financier. If you come to me for investment, I will tell you I can't fund you based on the current brand that you have. It's not distinct. So I will just advise that you think about it. I know you must have spent money on that. But it's always good when you are going into a market where there is a major player in the market. Flour Mix is a major player. You cannot go into the market and brand your product like Flour Mix. It will be seen as a fake and nobody will want to go into it. So I would just advise from my own little experience that if you can, think about that. That's number one. Then number two, it appears that you have been doing this business. So if I'm right, am I right or wrong?
Correct.
So what I would have encouraged you to look at, instead of telling me the other part, I'm not castigating your need, but it's a training which I'm sure your business can do. Last year we had to do it for some people, how to do pitch. I was part of the mentor for some people that did that. So if you don't have that training, that's what is happening here. You are proud of your business and you want to go into details, but that's a challenge. So historical performance, how much have you sold in the last 3 months? In the last 12 months, how much have you sold? Which of your products is the best seller? Why is it the best seller? Those are the information an investor will want to hear. So I would encourage you for the next speech to look into that. Thank you, sir. Then you didn't tell us what you need anyway.
Okay, I don't need finance, I need support. The word SEMO is a general term anywhere in the world. That's SEMO. If you use the word SEMO, can be semolina, semovita, our is semoton. So the word SEMO is different, which I believe those people in the market should be start somewhere.
I'm not talking about the name, I'm talking about the brand. That's what I mean by brand. The packaging.
Okay, packaging.
Yes, your packaging should not be the same as every other packaging that is selling semovita, semolina, semo, whatever.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's just an idea.
Okay, I agree with you, sir.
Thank you very much. So I just wanted to ask you about the agricultural waste that you mentioned, right? Because you highlighted that and I thought it was very interesting because it looks like you have a goal to take all the outputs from farmers, and that's something that could probably entice some investors because you're trying to take all the outputs from farmers and you don't want any output that they produce to be wasted. Am I correct? I don't want to put words into your mouth. Okay, so I thought you would speak more about that and give us some examples. That was something that I thought was interesting. So maybe next time we want to just like add that part as well, just to improve the market. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm talking about the local setting because the industry, the factories is set up within the local community. So that's the reason why we absorb their products. I need training support. So because if I may say, I don't need money because money is not everything. So basically what I need, I believe we have some other people that are more intelligent, just as you said, about the package. It's just 1 year plus.
In terms of valuation, have you done evaluation of the office?
Yes, we did. So I think we sent some to.
If you look at how much you have invested in the business, just
Generally.
don't give me the exact
Okay,
number.
over 40 million naira.
Have you had a partner for solution?
I think we did some online advert.
When you're sure, Google partner for food solutions, they provide the kind of support that you need for food manufacturers. The kind of support I will provide for you, I will do it. Partner for food solution will not build you, but there are some parameters you are supposed to meet. So,
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much for your presentation. Just like one of the judges mentioned, do the thing that you're for the master in entrepreneurship. Pitch as pitching as part of the curriculum, as part of what they've learned in the course of your 1 year master's program, so you know how to structure your pitch. Thank you so much for your presentation, and thanks to the judges for the insight and also the recommendations that were made to the company. Okay, So we take the next company, and that's Med, right? With Cred, right? Did I pronounce it well?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, thank you. So you have 5 minutes, it starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, honorable judges. My name is Dr. Adedotu Ayodele, and I'm pitching Med with Cred. Med with Cred stands for Medic with Credibility. The next slide, please. Next slide. So Med with Cred is a health promotion company. We help to represent healthcare organizations better in the digital space. It's very important for people to know where they can find health organizations. Also, it's a content creation company that we help people to understand health. We help people improve their knowledge about health to improve health outcomes. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next. Okay, so the legal company name is Med with Cred Limited. The next 2 slides. It was founded last year. So the problem. Next slide. So according to World Health Organization, about 25 to 75% of adults have limited health literacy. This is a major problem because people with better health literacy, they live longer, they use hospital services more, they understand the need to go for checkups, they understand the need to go to the hospital for certain services. So health literacy is a major issue, and Med with Cred is a health promotion company, health content creation company. For example, in Nigeria, there are about 1.5 million men with erectile dysfunction. Now, this is a major problem because a lot of people don't know what they can do, and because there's a kind of stigma around it, they don't go to the hospital for this. But if they've gotten some information about it online, on social media, anywhere, people have understood that maybe it was just stress, maybe the person is hypertensive, maybe the person is diabetic. So they will actually go and find out what the reason is, and a lot of times it's reversible. Once the cause is tackled, then performance will improve. That is one issue. Secondly, healthcare organizations are not well represented on the digital space. A lot of people here might be surprised to know that we do open heart surgeries in Nigeria. A lot of people here might be surprised to know that we do kidney transplants in this very Lagos. But these places might not be well represented on the digital space. So Med with Cred is a company that helps these organizations represent themselves on digital space. This is very important because people could have many health issues, they could be spending so much money, and they could be going to the wrong places for treatment, spending money and getting worse. Meanwhile, there are places ready, there are specialists in these aspects. So Med with Cred helps to promote these companies, present them better on the digital space, and this helps people get proper access to quality healthcare. Next slide, please. Next slide. So the market opportunity. There are lots of hospitals, nursing homes, labs in Nigeria. Over 5,084 private health facilities in Nigeria, and a lot of them are not well represented. Over 5,349 medical laboratories in Nigeria, 662 nursing homes in Lagos alone. There are so many healthcare organizations, and they are poorly represented. You could Google a particular place and find the one that just has best search engine optimization, not knowing that that might not really be the place that you really need for that particular service. As the healthcare system is kind of decentralized, our insurance system is not so effective. There's not much access to quality healthcare. Yes, we know the government hospitals, the Lutz, the Lassots, but how many times will someone go there and find bed space? Not many. And there are people that can actually afford the services, because these services, of course, they are very expensive in a lot of places. But some people who can even afford them don't even know where to go to. So it's important to know where to go to. They have to improve their discoverability. And that's the purpose of Med with Cred. And like I said, that Med with Cred is a content creation company. So we create content. So please, can you all subscribe to Med with Cred on all platforms? Next slide, please. Okay, competitive advantage. I'm a medical doctor with 10 years experience. I have a master's in public health, and also I'm doing my master's in data science in Rome Business School, which is a major competitive advantage. I guarantee you that you will not find another competitor in Rome Business School doing my business. Next slide, please. Okay. Next slide, please. So like I said, we're a health promotion company. We promote health on the digital space, social media. We've done series of content. We've promoted some hospitals. We've promoted some content, very important content. For example, yesterday was World AIDS Day. We created some content about AIDS and all that because there is still so many cases of HIV in the world. And despite the current progress that's going on, there are still many cases, still new cases. So people need to understand what to do to prevent themselves.
I think this is a very important initiative or startup, so to say. But I think I just have one or two questions around. First was you asked, apart from what subscribing to make mistakes. I think the second one is, so if you are to summarize what you do, what you're offering in one sentence, what will it come? Because I've seen promotions, I've seen content generation, and from your experience, you are a medical doctor, and content creation is an entire ballgame for it. So I don't know if you get to where you have your team, and you can see someone with content creation, how you can leverage their experience, because all you have is just the understanding of the local ecosystem, rather than what you are trying to do itself, which is promotion and content creation, sort of advertisement. So just short, what's the one thing, like one sentence, a recap of what you do and what you offer, and your team that will support you?
Thank you for the question. So Med with Cred is a health promotion company. We provide digital marketing services to healthcare organizations, hospitals, nursing homes, and also we create content for the public to improve their health outcomes. And yes, we have a digital marketing experience, which I also have entertainment industry experience to aside medical. So my team is a team of IT people, digital marketing people, and they all have actual domain expertise in medicine. They also have background in microbiology, biology. Thank you.
This is the farmer now talking. Why do you want to promote medical facilities? Is it that people do not get asked or do not know where to go to? Or is it that they do not know that we have X number of nursing homes in Lagos? Or they do not know where to go to? My challenge is I'm trying to understand what challenge are you trying to solve? Tech is good, but sometimes we over exemplify the role of tech. What problem are you trying to solve? When you first started, I am aware of about 2 different apps that are in tech that are offering off-site health support in Nigeria right now. So I was thinking that's where you're going to, but now you are promoting the health facilities. I'm not 100% sure what challenge are you trying to solve. Then secondly, what's your ask? Thank you. What do you mean?
Okay, thank you for the question. So the reason why I'm promoting healthcare organizations is because a lot of people actually do not know where to go to for health services. For example, being a doctor for 10 years, a lot of people call me for a particular issue that this is what's going on, this is what's going on. Yes, there is telemedicine, which in future we will also grow to that. But there are some cases where the person needs to be in a hospital. If someone breaks his leg, there's no telemedicine that can do a surgery on that leg. The person has to be taken to the hospital for a surgery. If someone needs a kidney, there's no telemedicine that can work for that. The person has to go for a kidney transplant. The person needs to know where to go. So that's the reason. Then
let's say I have a patient and I call you, you're my GP, and I say, this person is doing this. You as a GP is the one to say, you can't solve this on the phone, go to this X facility. So why should I, as the patient, try to eliminate you by going to your content provider to say, okay, what am I don't know if you get my point. When it gets to investment level, this becomes critical. It might not be critical right now, but that's it.
So the nature of our healthcare system it's a bit different. For example, the GP system is used in UK, the NHS, you see your GP and all that. But even there, there's still a problem of access to healthcare. Lots of people are on waiting lists for months. So that's the major issue. Now in Nigeria, the issue is you might not even have access to your doctor. You could go to Luke, and I worked in Luke for about 3 years, and I have patients, at times patients will be outside for 3 days waiting for bed space. Some of them actually could have, if they actually knew where to go to, or if some of them could actually afford to use a private hospital and all that, but it's not every private hospital that could get the services that they actually need. So they could go to a private hospital where they could be treated and time could be going. It might not be the right place for them. So if they had known, because even in Nigeria, people go to places like Dubai and all that, they will Google and they will find the hospital, they will contact them and they will go for their services. Meanwhile, that same hospital is in Nigeria that can do the same thing. But because the hospital is not well represented on the digital space, and also I'm trying to repaint a narrative. People have this bad impression about Nigerian hospitals. When you go to look, it's there, when you do that and all that. So once they see the progress of healthcare on the digital space, it will change the narrative that there's actually good in the healthcare system. And also knowing these things, it is also a means of advocacy for the government to change some policies.
Is it a marketplace for hospitals? That's what you're trying to do.
Well, yes.
That's what you said.
Now that is correct. All right, what's your ask?
Okay, for the entirety of the past year, it's been self-funded, but for proper expansion, what we need is $30,000 US dollars.
Are you asking for 30,000 in exchange for what? Equity or what?
Okay. So first of all,
Yes, or as equity or as yes. That's what we say.
well, actually, as both as equity and as debt, because I'm also interested in fellow people to join the company.
All right, you've not done about you want. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation. For us, it's about getting into this first stage of pitch, and that's why for the students who are coming into Rome Business School, you go through an entrepreneurship development program that takes you from pre-incubation to incubation, and then when you're done, you come out with a much more refined pitch and be able to face investors in terms of growing and scaling your business. So we take this next business speedily. Sophie Food, right? Yes, so your time starts now.
Hello, good day, everyone. My name is Sophia Ahmed. So I'm a student of Rome Business School, running a master's in agribusiness management. I'm an extension specialist with over 7 years experience on the field. So during my assignment year as a student, I was on the field and I saw tomato field and I saw lots of tomatoes spoiled. So I started asking myself, what can I do to address this problem? So we went on the research and we were able to identify the issues surrounding post-harvest loss in tomato value chain. And I was able to draw down about three problems rather, that attached to post-harvest loss, which is malnutrition. And UNICEF has already reported that about 45% deaths rates are an issue of malnutrition. Then it's also a disincentive to smallholder farmers, which are actually about 25% of the 38 million population of the agro ecosystem, and also a big threat to food security, because about 50% of tomato production, which is about 1.8 million tons per annum, goes to waste. So the next slide. So we now came up with tomato powder as a solution, as a product, which is just one of our products. We have two products. So tomato powder is dehydrated. Meanwhile, it's not like it's not something in existence. Why? Because the local farmers dry their tomatoes by the room. So the difference is that
They dry their tomato, they just pour them on the ground, it gets dry, so along the line it has to get rotten. It takes like 4 days before it gets dry. So it changes color, loses coloration, and it picks up a lot of impurities along the line, and they bring it to the market. So it doesn't look that attractive, and most people are very concerned about their health, don't want to even patronize that. So in our own case, we tend to use the dehydration method. So being able to kill all those challenges, and we have something that is very nutritious at the end of the day. So the next slide, please. Okay, next one. I'm done with this one. So that's what it looks like, the tomato powder. I have it outside. The sachet actually has a transparent part, so you can see how it looks inside. So this is market size. So tomato is about the second most popular crop in the world, in Africa rather, and 13th most popular in the world. So it's something that has a very big market. But for tomato powder, I think we have our major targeted beneficiaries are going to be working class, right? Because the convenient food, you can easily just come back home and you sprinkle it in whatever it is you want to make as a fast food. Then we have all like retail supermarkets. Let's get to the next slide. And so our strengths are the fact that I've talked about the production, the condition of processing, and also because of the nutritional value and a lot. But our major challenge is the fact that it's a seasonal crop. So we have to be able to mop up tomato when it's in season. So therefore we need a lot of funds. And if we can't meet up with that, then it's going to make our prices fluctuate in the market, and that means it's in a very competitive market for tomato and its products. So it's going to affect us a little bit because of the competition. So we started this research in the year 2017, like I said. I saw, identified the problem in 2015. I started working on it. I registered my farm in 2017 after saving up my savings as a student. So I had Sophie Farms and Present Services Limited, which I used as a consulting firm over the years. And in 2022, last year, we launched Sophie Tomato Powder fully. Why? Because over the years, I kept on working on it, rebranding, and I kept selling, and I got lots of feedback, and I kept improving. So now what we have is an MVP. And within that period, we sold like 300 sachets. And as at this moment, we sold like 500. We didn't do much this year because I had a bigger project on the rice value chain in one of the local governments in my state. And also, I was still waiting for NAFTA. They had approved the other one, but this one, I'm having a lot of strain there. And the feedback I got from them have also impacted, incorporated into my next production, which I brought for this exhibition. So at the moment, we are looking for 8.8 million plus just to buy more machinery. Because I have a coated machinery that I've been using over the years, and operational cost of about 11 million naira. And this next slide. So these are my team members, me and my team. They are very young people because I believe in growth and I like the process a lot. Or we're able to write with someone. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Number one, I'm sure we all enjoy your presentation. Thank you very much. So on behalf of everyone, we say thank you.
Thank you.
So we should clap for you. But I actually enjoyed your presentation. And yes, that was what I was about to say. You show financials. And, as an aside, usually when ladies present, they give them more time than men. That's what I've known. But in this case, you are not following that trend, so you are biased. So I'm apologizing to her on your behalf, so you should thank me afterwards. So it's a good presentation from my part, and then what you're asking for is also realistic. The only challenge I think I see is that if I heard you correctly, number one, I don't think you have NAFDAC yet. It depends upon who is funding you or which fund they are looking for. Some people will not touch it. I, as a person, won't touch it. if you don't have the certification. That's number one. It's actually interesting, and I was interested until you said that particular point.
So, but I've gone through the lab process. So I only had just one additional I've submitted it.
So
That's
it still doesn't give me enough. I'm sorry. But it's encouraging. I know people like, what's their name now? I remember their name. I know some people that.
Okay, but let me add a bit too. So, these products, I don't have anything I add to it apart from tomato. There are no colorations, nothing. I don't it. So that's it. That's it. So I don't really it, and apart from that. So they don't have much to say, but they still very little.
Now, the only other challenge I have is that I know that some people do, sorry, we are taking time now. I know some people do paste, tomato paste. And tomato paste is heavy in the market. You have the likes of, there are about 4 of them, major players in the market right now. Ichino, the tomato juice, they are big players. So the question now is this: these are your competitors. So why, and Nigerians are conservative people, so why would I go for a powder when there is paste? So the next question, similar to that, is how much do you sell per sachet? Because you must be able to give me your unique selling proposition. Why should I go for powder when there is paste? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and for a wonderful pitch. When you came out, I noticed, I don't know if you were deliberate about your branding, but there is something very consistent about the way you brand yourself and your product and your presentation. So well done on that. Okay, so my question, or it's not a question, if you go to the fraction page, all the long sentence you put out there could have been represented with an infographic. You started research in 2017, have sold 300, because we had to incorporate feedback within this time, and now we are selling 500. I remember all that was there, but the sentence was just too long to remember. Okay, then the route of NAFDAC for things like that, and especially NAFDAC may want to ask you to incorporate vitamin A before they give you any of those numbers. Okay.
Sorry, so in addition to what you said, just when you're answering that question, I would like to know if anyone has tried your product before and what the feedback was and like what the comparison is between that and what they say about like, some of the things that you mentioned.
My question is around, so while presenting, you mentioned a lot of things. So there's Sophie food aspect of it where you produce the powder tomato. Then you mentioned the farming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned the farming aspect of it. I think I heard a little bit about you also participating in rice. Yeah, that you don't want to mention that. I think for any startup, I've worked on a lot of business plans and listened to. You want to show absolute focus. This is what I do. So, and while we were sitting here, I've gone through the website, and your mission statement is like the whole page. So, for example, my company is like, our mission statement is to help Africa feed itself. It's succinct. Yeah, it's succinct, it's straight to the point, and it shows what we are trying to achieve. So, while on the Sophie Group page, I've seen farming, I've seen distribution, I've seen the food. Yeah, so I'm just saying it's much more better and easier if you can just, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to achieve it, this is what I need. And these are some of the challenges I envision and how I think I will navigate it. And I think piggybacking on what you said around the paste, you have to show it. You have to mention your own value proposition. Why is it better than the paste? Because that's your competition. And as much as we try to kill ourselves, like, oh, if you have a good idea, you have to account for your competitors in the market. And I'm not going to go for a powder instead of the paste. without a heavy commitment because, as I mentioned, we are very conservative here. So I think that's a major aspect of the presentation that you missed. And also, this is just general. Almost everyone that presented today have shown data, mentioned data, but very few of them have sources for the data. And excellence is very important. You have to show your source for your data. You can't just throw data here. So that source is very important because everything we do here revolves around the numbers. You are showing me your market, there is 100,000 people that need, there is this, there is that, but there's no source for the data. I don't care about the numbers. I want to know where you get your data from. Is it your personal research? Is it from FEO? Is it from the Ministry of Agriculture? So, yeah.
You have 1 minute. Sorry, let me conclude my.
Okay, let me address the issue of competition. Okay, first and foremost, I told you about how we identified the problem. So, on the lighter note, I'm not seeing paste as the competition. I'm seeing the dried tomato that women buy from the market to sell the food vendors as their competitors. Yes. So, the paste is, we are just like an innovative product. It's like different byproducts of tomato as a value chain. So now, if I want to convince you to take tomato powder instead of paste, I will tell you the nutritional value. Why? Because for paste, there is a lot of additives, chemical additives. And we all know that by the time they want to process it, a lot of the nutrients have been lost because they want to spit out the water, culture is in the lab. But in our world, nothing is lost. We just dried everything. So it has a full component. So, yes, another question.
No worry, you're done. Thank you so much for your presentation. Most importantly, the questions that maybe every person in the audience will be interested in is how much is slashed. So I believe you have a stand outside where you can all go and then buy from her. All right, so I'm trying to balance up for the bias, the alleged biasness as relates to the time. So we'll take the next company. Okay, you're representing the company. Please come because I want to be sure that it's not Chinese or that is it an acronym or is it initials or is it? It's a Latin word. It's a Latin word.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, so Javier representing Zenas Logistics, and we are actually a technology-driven fleet maintenance organization. So when you hear logistics, a whole lot of people just really think about transportation, and that's not what we are. Logistics, as a word, is actually planning, and we're trying to position ourselves as a supply chain support service company using technology for all of the value chain services that you can find as integrated support service within the supply chain businesses. And how do I mean? So within supply chain, you have transportation in itself, you have warehousing, you have fleet maintenance, and all of this, we are now trying to support organizations that are running in those spaces with technology to be able to help them manage their data properly, manage costs properly in terms of supplies of fleet spare parts to their operation. So pretty much at Zenas, we registered the organization in 2019, but then COVID struck 5 months after. 2020, we're all trying to recover. 2021, still trying to find our feet. But then we picked up back pretty much this year in January 2023. And currently right now we have just about 4 B2B businesses that we run in terms of our fleet maintenance services. And with this, currently we're doing, I'm not going to run through all the data because I'm trying to manage the slide, please, next slide. So this is just a basic industry data around what fleet maintenance is like within the Africa border, and we're going to I'm going to be telling you where this source, like our panelist said, there is no source of data with some of the presentation he has seen. Industry insight from 2020, just stay on that slide, please. So industry insight with passenger cars sales in Africa, we can see the growth and decline from 2016 to 2021. And with Nigeria as a market in itself, over 75% of the vehicles that we find in Nigeria are actually after-sales vehicles, which means, Tokumbo vehicles that we all call for most of the time. And the reason why we are positioning ourselves as a fleet maintenance organization is because we know that most of these vehicles, a whole lot of people buy them without knowing some of the issues that these vehicles already have. And even after you have bought them, you have issues with your Moneru, Akim that are not able to, service you properly in terms of maintenance and all of that. So we are positioned to help you manage your vehicles. Even after you have gone to buy a wrong vehicle, we are able to help you diagnose the vehicle properly with our technology tools and give you month-on-month reports. And when it's time for you to even sell the vehicle, because when you start spending a particular amount of money on your vehicle per time, and is exceeding the actual cost of ownership for that vehicle, then it's time for you actually to discard it. So those are some of the things that we are planning and positioning ourselves with our proprietary technology that we are going to build in house to help people manage all of this vehicle usage and vehicle life cycle per time. A whole lot of this goes into the assets that the government people are actually buying per time. So that's why that number is actually very high there. And with population of about 9. I'm still on that slide, please. With population of 198 million people, total estimated value of car imports is 50 million yearly into the Nigerian market with an annual growth rate of 1.1%. Then we have the market in itself for maintenance culture in Nigeria valued at about 4.3 billion naira. $1 billion, and this is at a whooping 9.2% GDP contribution. So at every point in time, either we're bringing in these vehicles into the country or whatever, the value chain of work that's needed to be done in terms of maintenance is actually very huge, and there's huge potential in terms of revenue and job creation that we are trying to position ourselves to do within the market. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think one, you haven't been able to sell your company itself. So they focus more on the data and the problems. So I would like you to take a little bit and sell the company. And another thing is you use cars and vehicles interchangeably. Yeah. So it would be better if you focus on one. A vehicle is being more encompassing rather than cars, because not always exactly cars specific. So I see that as like a running thing across the presentation so far. So because when you were talking about Africa, it was cars. So when you came into the slides about Nigeria, you introduced vehicles. So yeah, Keke Napep is a vehicle. Motorcycle is a vehicle. Cars are usually four-wheel drive cars that accommodate few people. So you might want to be very specific, because when pitching, the most important thing is your specificity. You have to show why. You have to show how why you are special and what you do. So you have to drill that down, and you don't want to be too broad. So if you are going to be when you say logistics, as you had mentioned, the first thing that comes to people is transportation. And when you are saying you are a logistic maintenance company, the first thing that will come to my mind is probably maintain trucks and the like, rather than cars. Of course, cars can have a little bit of logistic value, but in the broad sense of it, logistic, you think of trucks, you think of train, things like that. So, one, what is your value proposition? What are you trying to do? Two, how do you think you achieve it? Three, what's your differentiating factor? Why are you better than the Monero and the likes on on the street. And the last one was
Okay, thank you so much for that question. In terms of, I would like to start with the value proposition. Value proposition is one, we are positioned as a technology-driven fleet maintenance organization. And when I understand the part that you're saying, we really need to be specific. Yes, truly, when we started out with maintenance of passenger vehicles, and we're over a few months.
You are what again?
Zenas Integrated Trade Logistics.
You are
A fleet maintenance organization.
For which industry? For which? That will help you stay more focused.
Okay, so when you say for which industry, because
you can't be serving everybody, right?
Yeah, I'm not serving everybody.
Who are you serving?
Okay, so we're serving our large fleet operators, people who operate large set of vehicles in their pool, either as official cars or trucks for moving their cargo from point A to point B. Yeah. So, and even in our business portfolio right now, we have some engagements with likes of Adobe PLC and Octopus Petroleum. So we are maintaining their fleets for them and helping them with inbuilt technology to manage cost of running and supplies of some of these vehicles.
So you still haven't mentioned what you do.
Maintenance of vehicles, that's what I do.
Do you maintain it, or are you a platform for people that maintain it?
No, we maintain it ourselves. We maintain the vehicles for them.
Yeah, so you're like a mechanically.
Exactly. But then the difference now is that we are trying to make sure that we use technology to drive this business. Yeah.
How does that?
So right now, because we've not started building, and the goal is for us to build a technology that helps organizations manage things like cost per mile on their vehicle per time. Because I've been in logistics and supply chain for over 12 years, and one of the issues that I see in my experience is when you're talking to transport managers and the logistics managers themselves, they are not able to break down the cost per mile of every item or spare parts that they are using on a particular vehicle per time. And this is a very big issue. If you can't trickle down your data on your cost, you can't really measure to say a tire that you are replacing on a truck today is supposed to run 16,000 kilometers for you. And that you are able to break down that 16,000 kilometers into the number per naira per month per week, so that if any driver due to improper asset handling issues bust your tire on the way, you are able to address that cost and know where the replacement is going to come from. So those are some of the things you're trying to do.
All right, thank you.
Do not tell us your name.
My name is Adetola Adeyemi.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, what's your ask?
So my ask right now, to be honest, we're not here to look for money at this time. We're here to look for professional collaboration in terms of mentorship to get us investor ready. So because like I said earlier, the company was registered in 2019, but then we picked up operations fully this year. And there's just a slide up, okay, you're done. There's one more slide I would just like to show our product portfolio towards the end.
Are you a student?
Yeah, I'm a student, logistics and supply chain.
All right.
Thank you. So we have two more companies, John Wenny Agric and Farms Limited. 5 minutes.
Just correcting, it's John Wayne. Thank you. My name is Arinzi. I'm the founder of John Wayne Agric Farms Limited. I'm a student of Rome Business School, Agribusiness. So let me tell you shortly before I start. I went to work somewhere in Niger State, and I saw a lady called Amra. She stays close to my apartment. And I saw her on the particular day crying, and I asked her, so what was wrong with you? And she told me how she got a bad yield. She didn't get a good market for a crop, soya beans particularly. And that was spurred me to a soya bean farmer today. So I thought about it and I said, okay, let me look for a problem around it. So first, one of the problems I identified was that we don't have good post-harvest treatment in Nigeria. So first, Joblin Agriculture Farms Limited leverage on technology to onboard farmers. We onboard farmers, provide input for farmers, provide market for farmers, train farmers on good agricultural practices. So we supply our commodities to companies like Olam and the rest. I'm a vendor with Olam from soy mill in Ilorin and some other people. Next, please. So our technology, we onboard farmers. How we onboard farmers? We get farmers information, the name, phone number, farm size, crop type. So inside our app is embedded what we call harvest calculator. So that before the time of harvest, the farmer cannot just sell their commodities without us. Because it's the natural farmer's trait to sell their commodities even though you give them inputs. So we're able to overcome that. So our problems, post-harvest loss. We know that post-harvest loss is huge in Nigeria. We don't have good storage facilities, we don't have good storage solutions in Nigeria. Inability to access good inputs for a good yield. We understand that we are partnering with IIT on crops, maize and soya beans, specifically. To help give our farmers these inputs and to get a better yield. Our solution. So, onboarding the smallholder farmers, input recommendation. It's important that the farmer knows what inputs to use, what herbicide to use at a particular time, what fertilizer. And on our onboarding platform, we are able to indicate if a farmer is organic and unorganic. So it helps us in traceability. It helps us in accountability. So we provide access to market. We buy these commodities, we store these commodities, and we sell to companies. To market, we all know that there's 60% post-harvest loss in Nigeria. We have about 8 million smallholder farmers in Nigeria, which I'm among. I'm a member of all farmers association, member of all organic practitioners of Nigeria. We have about 5 trillion loss to post-harvest in Nigeria. We need to understand that one of the greatest problems with the smallholder farmer is one, the inputs, two, where the farmers are going to sell their commodities or store their commodities. So we are helping them to either store or sell at harvest. So $100,000. So what do you want to use it for? At harvest, farmers need dryers to dry their commodities so that they can stop spreading their crops on the farm where they are going to lose part of this commodity. So there are companies that do that. Grain Pro that commodities in Nigeria is the moisture wanted to be used to sell outside the country. If you want to, for instance, our standard moisture level in Nigeria is 13%, while we want to export to get about 8%. So traction, we have onboarded about 1,100 farmers in Niger, Kwara North, and Oyo State. I hope to spread to the most people I come from. So we have been able to help about 1,100 farmers to solve a particular problem. Identify the herbicides they're supposed to use, the inputs they're supposed to use, and create storage facilities for smallholder farmers. So my business case, onboarding farmers, I've said that can you move to the next one? Provide storage facility for farmers. So we established my background is sociology. I did masters in sociology of gender because I work with an English major. I did the entrepreneurship management with TBC because business school, which my graduation is in 3 days. I'm studying agribusiness here. I'm studying supply chain management in European Business School. Then my partner, she's past in cassava. So we're not in cassava.
Thank you very much. So I work with business, and I work in like the financial market aspect of it. I think my question one is: are you a platform? Are you a trading company? Are you an input supplier? So I need to know exactly what you do. Do you operate farms? Are you an aggregator? So I need to know what you do. I think the second thing is, and I think it was only Sophie Food that did justice to that, which is when you are asking for money, you have to show us the breakdown of how you will spend the money. And I think that's like even the most important slide when you are asking for money. So you want to get hermetic bags, you want to get scale, you want to get SBD dryers. How much are these? How many hermetic bags are you going to partner with a company that produces hermetic bag? How much do you need? And another thing that has been like a common theme for the presentations today is that there is not much focus on partnerships and collaboration. And you are in an ecosystem that we choose, even at FX, we have partners, we have our partners, we have the warehouses that we partner with, we have our logistic partners, we have our financing partners, we have our capital market operators. If I'm pitching FX to anyone, that's one of the most important things I'll mention. These are our partners. So now you haven't shown me your input partners because I'm guessing you don't produce the input yourself. How do you get the inputs? Who are your storage partners? Because one of the things you mentioned you want to use your money to do is to build storage facilities. So tell me about what you do currently. Are you a technological platform that onboard farmers? Are you an input supplier to farmers? Are you a trading company that buy from farmers and sell to the producers? Then can you just give a brief breakdown how you will spend the 100,000?
Thank you. So, Joel Agricultural Farms Limited is a commodity trading company. Commodity trading company. But we leverage on technology to get more commodities to sell to these businesses. So, let me give you an instance. When I started the business, I just go to the market, look for people. But I realized that if I onboard these farmers and I help them with inputs, I'm going to buy at harvest. And I'm going to sell, to my producer at a very good price. So I started the first set of farmers I onboarded were 250 farmers. So we give them inputs. Inputs now go to the inputs. I partner with IIT just like I do. Buy their maize. Their maize, 75 days maize, and soya beans. So, these farmers are actually check farmers. You need to give them some really training. When to plant, for instance, you plant maize. After you plant maize, you remove you put your soya beans because maize takes up nitrogen and soya beans takes up nitrogen. So, if you follow the process, you will help them get a good yield. One, two, you have more to sell to your businesses. Thank you. So I've been partnering with Greenfield for 2 years. I've been buying their hermetic bags, their hermetic bag period. Their personalized hermetic bags, their outdoor hermetic bags, their indoor hermetic bags. I'm building a storage facility in Gujarat and that will take about 1,000 people. Commodities. I buy the wrapped indoor hermetic bags, which is about $3,000 each. And each is like maybe 100 metric tons. 100 100 tons. So we wrap them on it, sell them on it, keep them on package. So I mean, this study for this, these are things that will provide for this small order farmer. Because the truth is, farmers do not actually have what they want to plant. Whatever crop they give the farmer to plant, he will plant. There's no particular.
You know this land. You know, no, you can't. You know it.
I was selected on that.
So you know, excuse me, sir. You should know that the question is asking you, he probably knows the answer.
I was selected.
My question now to you is, if you see an effect in the room, how does effect being available in the same room with you affect your business possibilities?
So for commodity trading, and I mean, affects me.
But you've not sold to him.
No, so I mean, affects model is different from my model. I know affects very well. I just see I was picked among the people for Code Castro in Kaduna. But one of my problems there was most of the judges were not farmers. They don't understand what farming is. So what I was saying wasn't making sense. So for me, I'm a farmer. I've been able to interact with farmers. I know the problems of farmers. I know the problem people face with farmers. I mean, giving them input and going will do you no harm, you're going to lose your money. But when you give them input that's at when due, and this is our solution, helps us to know exactly where we give them this. So for instance, maize from IIT 75 days. 75 days you harvest. So I mean 10 days before harvest, that's not like that's in the market. But of course you know they cannot harvest before time. So it helps us keep it to date.
Thank you very much. This is your first time pitching? The second time. The nerves.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks to our judges for your contribution, your questions, and also to the companies that presented their pitch today. The most important thing for us is to take the learnings and look for ways to ensure that we improve in our next pitch. Like I mentioned, this pitch is by Rome Business School students, and we have in the career service, the career service department has the entrepreneurship pathway that will take you to pre-incubation and then take you to incubation. And that's where you learn critical aspects of startups that are important for you to come out at the end of the day to make a successful pitch. Some of the pitches almost all the pitches that we had today have not gone through that cycle. So it's important as you join Rome Business School that you register with the career service department so you can go through this learning process and come out on the other side with a much more refined business model and pitch. But for us this afternoon is that we also have this business, some of these businesses have their minimum viable products that are displayed on the stand outside. You can take a look at them and also engage with the founders or the representative of these companies. And also speaking about collaboration and partnerships. So you can also look at from your own angle how you can partner with some of these startups and founders to provide some say specifically that what they need is support, not necessarily funding. You have those technical support that they need in terms of business support or whatever area it is. You can collaborate with them, or you have contacts that can provide them such support. And also, not just the judges, there are some of us seated here that are also interested in are interested in investing in startups like this. We are not necessarily interested in starting our own companies, like I mentioned earlier. So you can also look at such opportunities in Rome Business School, where you can opportunities you can leverage to invest and get return at the end of the day. Thank you so much for taking our time to be part of the pitch presentation. And so at this point, I'll hand over to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for your patience. We appreciate you very much. I know it's not been easy. We've sat here for several hours now, but we have less than 50 minutes to go. The next thing I need to do now is to call upon our sponsors. We have two very, very important sponsors that have been part of the arrangement and the entire process to get us to where we are today. I'm going to start with calling the rep of Petrocam, Mrs. Igogo Eyo. Please step up and a round of applause for her. They've done amazingly. They've been awesome. So she has like 5 minutes to talk about her company and just generally let you know what they do. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, moderator. Good afternoon, everybody. Point of correction, my name is Ugogo. But I'm not upset because we are Yoruba, right? It's always like that. I'm representing Petrocam. My boss couldn't make it, the managing director of Petrocam Trading Nigeria Limited. I'm the COO, so I'm not the MD. Alright, Petrocam started in Nigeria in 2011. When the panelists were talking, they mentioned what the Nigerian government can do to you. Yes. One thing we did was that they also happened to us, but we had to also try and do something to keep afloat. When we came into Nigeria back then in 2011, we were selling to major oil marketers. We bring petroleum products into the country and we sell to the likes of Mobil, Total, MRS, and the rest. And then government policies changed, and government said everybody should start buying through PPMC, that NNPC. So that almost took us out of business. But we went back and re-strategized, and we noticed that there's a major need in the petroleum sector, which is LPG, cooking gas. You will recollect that back in the days, you need to go to outside of city to buy your LPG. So we started having retail outlets that are one-stop shop. So if you go to any Petrocam filling station, you buy petrol, you buy diesel, you buy gas, you buy lubricant, you buy everything. We started having add-ons. That's filling station with a gas plant. So we started having mini gas plant, 5MT, just 5,000 kg. And then we have digital scales. So it's not like those, okay, I won't use that. I want to say my Igbo brothers, but I don't want to use it. You know all those people that sell gas along the side? You don't actually know what you're buying, you understand? But these scales that we use on it, once you get there, they help for weigh your cylinders, you know the power weight of your cylinders. Then you can have a 12.5 kg cylinder and buy 2 kg gas inside it. Because it will just give you exactly what you're buying. So we sell packaging. So we started that, and then right now we have over 50 retail outlets. So another thing we also do is that we noticed that it was only the airlines that were using gas and wanted to create this climate support, green energy and so on. So we decided to go into the remote areas. So if you go to places like Agility, Atom, Lusada, you see Petrocam there. You go to places like Agofieti, you see the way the names are sounding. You look around, you see us there. We go to the remote area so that these people can have access to LPG to cut down the greenhouse effect that is affecting the climate. So by and large, we are a one-stop shop for your energy needs. So our slogan is energy in motion. Thank you for your time.
Energy in motion. I'm amazed because I'm looking at remote areas that you call. There are places that are as in. Thank God for that vision. Well done. A round of applause for Petrocam again. Thank you for your support. We appreciate everything you have done to make today's program possible, and we appreciate every other thing you have continued to do to support Drone Business School Nigeria. The next partner I'm going to call is not the last and not the least, but after him is going to be the vote of thanks. I'm going to call upon Mr. Suleiman, Apex Commodities, to say something about his organization. Thank you, Mr. Suleiman. A round of applause for his company for supporting us throughout the journey.
So, at FX, we I think we started our operation in 2014. The goal was to be a commodity exchange. And what we quickly realized is that the entire value chain had issues around it. You can't be a commodity exchange because what an exchange does is to be a platform for trading, for buying and selling. But you can't buy, you can't sell when there's nothing to buy or to sell. So we had to expand the scope of our business. The first thing was to work and create the value chain. So the warehouses, the farmers, the input. So I think in 2021 we expanded our entity into a group structure where we have the FX Commodities Exchange, the FX Fair Trade Limited, and the FX Investment Limited. So the Commodities Exchange still do the trading, the platform where people can buy and sell. For the Fair Trade Limited, interact with farmers in the field. On board, we have over 450,000 farmers onboarded across 3 different countries, which is Nigeria, Kenya, and Uganda. Then we provide input to this one, which is similar to what John Wayne does, but on a much larger scale. So we provide input to farmers, we aggregate from them, we have field extension officers. We operate about 180 warehouses across these countries, and also we make sure that their commodities, when they bring into their warehouse, it can be converted into a warehouse receipt. And the importance of warehouse receipt is that it can be used to generate funding for them. Because people don't really care about how many bags you have in the warehouse. What they care about is, can we use it, can we turn it into finance, can it be sold? So we do that backward integration, and it's on the back of that we create products on the exchange. And the last entity is the FX Investment Limited. What they do is they go to the capital market. So you have the people that have excess, you have the people that need the money. So they collect from the people that have the excesses, you have the asset managers, you have the stockbroking firms. So they raise capital from them, and this capital that are raised are now funneled to processors in the market. You have various poultry farmers, feed mills, the likes, and this money is used to finance their operation and also to improve the entire value chain, whether you are a palm oil farmer, so things like that. So across the entities, the various entities of FX, one thing that is common is value creation, either for the farmers, either for the processors, either for the investors in the market. Today alone, we launched a product we call the Fair Trade Exchange Traded Commodities, which is just like your ETF in the market, where people can invest in different commodities in a basket. So, and for that to be possible, every aspect of the value chain has to be involved in it. Straight from the farmers that plant these commodities to the investment limited that finances these farmers and the processors, to the exchange that creates this product. And that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to help Africa to feed itself. We are trying to create value in the capital market and in the financial market, and at the same time trying to help achieve the various SDGs around improving poverty alleviation, reducing hunger and the likes. So thank you very much.
To the quarter to the end of the program. Thank you for your patience. It has been a pleasure. If there's anybody in this hall that has not exchanged phone numbers or collected phone numbers, I really don't know what to say at this point. The truth is that you are not data, you are not credit, so you cannot be invisible. We will not buy you if you are pretending to be invisible. Talk to people next to you. Before your business is even attractive, you yourself need to be attractive. So please find a way of networking and leverage on those contacts, reach out to them, talk to them. I'm going to call upon the rep of the country director to give a vote of thanks on his behalf. Please step up to the mic. Thank you everybody for your patience.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we have actually come to the end of the program, and we want to appreciate, first of all, I want to appreciate everyone that is seated right here for taking this long ride. It has been a long ride, but I tell you, I'm sure that it has been an impactful one for every one of us here, even for those who are not necessarily stakeholders in the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So for those who are outside or who are still peeping, who want to come in, I am very sure that this also has been an impactful session for you. And so on behalf of the country director of Rome Business School, that's Dr. Humphrey Akanazu, we want to appreciate all our sponsors. Petrocam, thank you so much for, please, as I'm calling them, can you just give them a round of applause? Thank you, thank you. We also want to appreciate Apex Commodities, thank you so much, all the way from Abuja, thank you so much. We also want to appreciate our panelists in absentia. Yes, a very insightful and also exclusive session that we had there. And we want to appreciate the moderator of today's session, Mrs. Ajoke. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. She's part of us anyways, but yet she still came all the way. We appreciate you, Ma. Also, we want to appreciate our judges, Mr. ACN. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much. We also appreciate Bayi Foundation. Bayi Foundation, we really appreciate your presence in this event today. So Bayi Foundation also gives business support services to entrepreneurs and business owners. And so for those of us that were pitching, you can know that you have that opportunity to actually get yourself on board or get some of their services for free. So I'm sure that after now, I'm sure they have some companies or some of these startups that they are interested in. After now, we are also going to reach out to some of us after the pitch session. So this pitch session is to give you, during the session, some of us had some responses from the judges that shows that we have to go back and re-strategize. So you may think that you already know all that there is about your business, or you know the know-how already. I'm sure that you please take note of every feedback that has been given here today and put it into use. Rome Business School actually set up this platform so as to help our students who are entrepreneurs, give them support in terms of the knowledge that they need. And that is one of the key things that our panelists have talked about, capacity building. And that is what we are doing by having this platform. I know most of us are interested in how much are these companies going to invest in us. But like they said, build capacity first, and it will not be hard to get the funds. So thank you once again for coming. Thank you, Bayi Foundation, and thanks to everyone that is seated here. Whether I mentioned him, Mr. Fuche, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us. So I want to say thank you. Okay, there is an exhibition outside. So for those that have pitched their products, some of them have their products down there. If you are interested, I know some of us are already interested. Some persons have visited already. So you can do well to go around. Petrocam also has their stand downstairs. Yes, so for those who intend to get some of their products, Sophie Foods and the likes. So let's try to engage and network with one another. Please, like our moderator has hammered today, don't go home without networking. Meet people. That is one of the key things that we do here in Rome Business School. As someone say, your network is your what? Your net worth. So please, network. Thank you all so much for being here today. We have come to the end. So do have a wonderful day. All right, bye.